We're not to be afraid or concerned of using our spiritual gifts and practices to transform, to change everything around us. So we can listen to people, be with them, use our healing gifts. We all have the ability to project this sense, this spiritual sense as spiritual people that we experience all day. It's like the same with caring for a plant or an animal or a loved one. It's just that sense of love, of giving it life. Walk around your home, touch everything with the presence of love, of giving it a reality. Make sense? It's called Feng Shui. My friend Denise Lin wrote a book called Sacred Space. So pick it up, read it. But it's, in other words, everything in your home and the atmosphere has a certain distance, a space. If you're talking to people, if you're doing spiritual work, you should be 6 feet away. Once you're a little closer, you feel all what their relationship to the world, their emotional, psychological experience of being a person. But if you step away and you're both spiritual, the world will disappear. But if you're dealing with people with problems, so you separate from them so they don't feel your sense of reality, and then they can feel free to unload their traumas or traumatic incidences of their life or whatever, or to experience beauty. The main thing is you're listening, you're there aware of someone, and you're giving them the thing that they never get. Someone is completely aware of them, present, interested in them. And this interested isn't mental, it's just the sense of it. And that's the sense you'll build in your home by putting my friend Catherine, she had a beautiful home and she would put certain presence on things here or there, and there was a certain space between things. You walk outside the house, everything was always appropriate, clean, the flowers are always cared for. Everything was right on, right? And I was with her the night, like September 10th, 2001, we went to the Patton Museum. Her dad was a captain for Patton in the war. And we went down there, it was very big, and then coming back towards here, I know we had feeling of like something wrong, and that night, well, why not? There were a couple of champagne flutes in my kitchen. I dropped her off, she was a friend, and I figured, oh, why not rinse them before I go to bed? And so I picked one up, and I'm walking towards the refrigerator, and it just jumped out of my hand, literally. Not in a bad way, there's a presence with it. Like I've had these experiences throughout my life, and it hit near the top of the refrigerator, and it was I didn't even think to pick it up. I just figured, well, I'll clean the other one first, and so I picked the other one up, and it flew out of my hand and hit near the top of the refrigerator, and it was, with a spiritual sense with it, and sure enough, whatever, early in the morning, I had a friend from another friend who was a assistant principal of a Catholic school, but she's from Newark, and so she called me and told me what just happened. And so I'm simply saying that there's nothing in a spiritual life. Every spiritual person, if you talk to them very quietly, will review they had these different experiences in their life, but you got to stuff them because it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't mean anything. But if you're very, very spiritual and you experience these circumstances or happenings in your life, you'll realize when you extrapolate out further, you always sense the physicality of the world from a spiritual point of view. And the message for this right now is, if you get very deep in that, not to fight anything physical, but to look through the reality of the world. It's not just healing. We've all done, I've certainly done endless physical healings to the extent I can make anyone feel peaceful, at ease, fix their musculature, their joints easily, or have them feel this presence, or listen to people for any amount of time so they unload their case without my reacting to it. And these other things in the deeper nature of the world, more physical of the world out there, you have the ability, if you stay deep in the saddle, spiritually, to change the circumstances of this world. The monk on the hill is not powerless or weak, or he's not hiding from the world. He is the spiritual world. And the compassionate of, like, the Tibetan Buddhists and so forth, they're the ones that have kept us going this long. We're not physical beings. We're made of starlight and kindness and truth and an infinite joy and happiness that the wise still call God. Use your gifts and powers. Change everything. Heal all the decent people. Be afraid of nothing. It isn't making a stand like my buddy Greg's a fighter. It's just making a not stand. You look through it all and realize behind it all, behind every evil action in the world, is what Sherlock Holmes used to call Moriarty. He knew if anything, he'd pick up a newspaper and see some bad circumstances, some other country or place or some crime, he'd know Moriarty. And he'd go to Germany to find Moriarty, Professor Moriarty, because he knew that was the source of all the evil. And that was just simply symbolic of Satan. And there is a Satan and it's nothing. And if you understand in your spiritual quest that you don't have to react to anything, not this, not that, in the most simple sense of perception, if you get to that, you'll see through it all, and you'll see that there's one being projecting it all, this construct. It's not this, it's not that. It gets very sensitive. I'm not explaining that right now. All of us who are spiritual understand. If you give it nothing, it is nothing. So the day we get 30, 60 million of us conspiring together to look Satan in the eye, it's not, you don't look, it's like you're here and you don't, it'll come at you at a point because it has to get something out of this. And it will run. And that day that 30, 60 million of us look at it, this plane of beingness, the evil, will be gone forever. It's written throughout the Holy Scripture, which is holy. And I don't say to read the Holy Scripture, all of it. The book I wrote, Island of Hearts, you'll find all the details, or the other books I wrote. And I'm saying that because I know it was stated in a very pure, not just symbolic, but truthful way, with the beauty and dignity and poetry that it requires. Because anytime you're discussing God, there should be beauty involved with it, kindness, joy, wonder, because that's what we're made of. That's what Feng Shui is about, is just creating an openness between all things and places and times and persons. We don't have to relate to anyone in the world as, you know, the archetypal images. He's the baker, he's the lawyer, he's the doctor. It's nothing. The only expert you've ever known is here. That's God. The world is an illusion. You're here to battle darkness and the vileness of this world. Everything in the world that's out of kilter is because people believe they're a body. That's the idea of Garden of Eden, and it is projected by this dark force. And if you give it nothing and deep inquiry within yourself over a period of time, this will be gone because of you, because of your courage and kindness to simply be a full human being. Thank you for listening. Thank you.